A 2023 report by the World Economic Forum found that 85% of companies thought that the increased adoption of new and frontier technologies would transform their organizations. Big data, cloud computing, and AI were the most likely technologies to be adopted in the next 5 years. 69 million jobs would be created, but there would be a decline of 83 million jobs in that same period. Employers expected a labour market churn of 23% of jobs, consisting of a mixture of emerging jobs added and declining jobs eliminated. The report anticipated that 42% of business tasks would be automated in the same period, compared with 34% currently. In particular, tasks around reasoning, communicating, and coordinating were expected to become more automatable in future. Around half of companies said they thought that this would create job growth, while a quarter said they thought it would create job losses. Despite these predictions, I don't believe the future of work is bleak. That's because I don't think we have scratched the surface of what human employees could do at work if they weren't doing jobs more suited to a machine. For me, it is most likely that tech will create jobs and make others redundant, but if we finally understand the untapped potential of humans in our workforce, there will be plenty of work to go around. That is, unless the bots take over the world. Okay, not the last bit, hopefully. But the sheer pace at which AI can evolve is mind-boggling. We cannot anticipate just how much it will change the world, but we can assume that just from a personal perspective, this technological transition is not going to be a smooth one. One of the reasons behind the growing levels of distrust in the world is job instability and the threat that new technology presents. What are these new jobs going to be? What specialist skills will they need? What will happen to people in whole industries and professions that are no longer needed? The technological transformation all around us may only be one of the influences on the changing nature of work, but it's a crucial one, a tipping point, and deserves some special attention because of what it means for how we work, the organizational cultures we need, and how we personally prepare ourselves for the future. As leaders, there are also ethical implications, not least the organization's responsibility to those people it no longer needs. Welcoming the non-human workforce. This new tech isn't like the tech we already have. It's more fundamental and demands that we rethink the contract we have with the people in our organization. Instead, we need to see the new tech as a non-human workforce, working alongside our human workforce. Whether it's AI, bots, or databases, we aren't just using this technology to help us do our jobs. Technology is now doing at least part of many of our jobs. We are delegating jobs to AI that we would previously have delegated to human co-workers. Jobs we thought were fundamental to the way we added value to our organizations. This tech isn't only faster and more efficient than doing something ourselves, it's cleverer. I've been experimenting with ChatGPT, like a lot of people. By the time this audiobook comes out, I will be a pro, and the tech will have moved on from where it is today, so forgive me if what I'm describing seems so last year. There is a company I mention in this book. I could remember a few facts about it, but not its name. Google wasn't helpful because the search terms I was using came up with a load of irrelevant results which I had to sift through. I then asked ChatGPT. There's a company, Brazilian I think, where they changed the ways of working so that people had more freedom. I think the son took over from the father. Do you know which company I'm thinking of? The answer came back. Semco. I asked for some links and it provided them so I could cross-check my recollections. This is much more like talking to a colleague than searching Google. I asked Gen I to turn things I've written into bullet points. or to summarize them for future reference, just like I would ask an intern or assistant to do some initial research and creative thinking for me. This is just the start. At the time of writing, the BBC is reporting that AI has discovered a new antibiotic that can kill a deadly species of superbug. I've coached numerous senior leaders in pharma over my 2 decades plus as an executive coach, and it's an industry that embraced big data before most of us knew what big data was. Now, that big data is available for AI to mine for hitherto unseen opportunities. It can screen tens of millions of potential compounds in a way that is just impossible to do with a human workforce. The same technology can help us organize human employees in an organization. For years, I've been talking about the potential for more agility for human workers. For instance, rather than having a job description or being hired to fit like a puzzle piece into a clearly boundaried job spec, I've been predicting a time when a person is seen instead as a unique cluster of experiences, human qualities, and expertise, being used in different ways at different times by an organization, growing and learning and enhancing the full value they have to offer over time. This is impossible when you're trying to juggle the complexity of what people have to offer on a spreadsheet. A human, even with the help of some clever Excel formulae, cannot work out all the moving parts. Let's take Abigail. She's a keen athlete outside of work. She was hired as a client services manager and is busy with 3 huge clients. Over the last 2 years, she's been on some leadership courses and is keen to develop her skills. She's a great listener and good at refining other people's ideas, but she's not great at generating her own. She's having a few difficulties at home, taking care of her unwell mum. Her husband travels a lot for work. She has 2 children, one of whom is taking his finals this year. She loves to travel, but hasn't been away recently because of her other commitments. She's great with numbers, follows Duran Duran on Instagram, and keeps various Pinterest boards of what she'd like to do to her house if she ever wins the lottery. She doesn't do the lottery. How do you work out how to use Abigail? She's a whole person, not just a client services manager. She's keen to grow and develop. Her personal qualities mean she has useful perspectives in all kinds of meetings, including meetings that have nothing to do with client services specifically. How can you, even with a clever spreadsheet, work out where to place her? You can't. So you give her a job with a job description which makes use of some of her qualities, but not all of them, and which works in tune with her life outside of work in some ways, but not in other ways. Consequently, you've paid for all of Abigail, but you don't get what you've paid for. She can add more value. You have no idea what capacity she has at any particular time. So if you ask her if she'd like to be involved in a project you're launching, she may say no because she doesn't have time, or yes, even though she's busy because she's excited about the opportunity and wants to appear keen. She doesn't know if she will have time in a few weeks because her workload is unpredictable. So you don't use her. Instead, you hire someone else who will also be a fit in some ways and not in others. AI can help. AI can store and sift through all this information, along with similar information about your other employees. It can predict busy periods based on past data and other insights, such as how demanding particular clients tend to be over and above the average. It can capture development needs and ambitions. It can design the ideal combination of personality types to be on teams addressing different kinds of problems. It can crunch all this up and recommend some team members to you. It can then determine how much time it should take that team to deliver a result and give you a realistic budget based on data from previous projects. It can generate draft meeting agendas and timelines and let you know when certain people on the team are likely to be less used and are free to apply their qualities elsewhere. And AI is much more than just this. It's your new project manager, your succession planner, your recruitment strategist, and your finance business partner.